Hello everyone, good afternoon. Finally, I'm back on the air. I apologize for not reviewing Raw and Smackdown, a main event last week due to some personal stuff I had to take care of this past week. I missed a couple of shows, and if you want to check out those results, unfortunately I won't be able to review those shows, but just watch it on WWE.com or WWE Network if it's available. If not, you got Hulu, and you have all other sources. Now, before I continue on, before I proceed with this past Friday Night SmackDown's review, I just want to say that this will be the very first video that we'll be broadcasting right now on YouTube. After very good feedback on Facebook, this will be uploaded now on YouTube and not on Facebook. If you want, I could just link it right on Facebook, and you check out my. You can pretty much check out my review right there. Okay, so here we go. All right, Friday Night SmackDown was, of course, this was taped last Tuesday to be shown on Friday night from the Amway Arena in Orlando, Florida. Of course, everybody remembers that Orlando, Florida was the home of WrestleMania 24. Okay, now we open the show with the opening match. We have the WWE Tag Team Non-Title match between the Usos and Ryback. So, how many times have you seen this? But, I got to say right now the WWE, they really have to really heat up the tag team division. Michael Cole claims that it's heating up, but I've got news for you. If you're going to keep splitting tag teams, you're not going to have the prestige of the tag team titles, okay, being thrown around or changing hands or starting any new feuds like back in the heyday with the British Bulldogs and the Hart Foundation. It just doesn't work that way, Vince. Okay, so anyway, just to cut it short and go on with the match, the Usos had a pretty good match against Ryback, Curtis Axel, and Ryback, as the Usos win 1-2-3 in the pinfall, and that ends that. So the Usos, of course, win it in that non-title tag team match. Okay, we go on to the second part of the show, the Miz segment. The Miz comes out with his $1 million face, coming out promoting his movie, The Marine 4, and telling the fans how much she loves him and how much if it wasn't for the fans, that he wouldn't be here today with his, and he thanks most of all his $1 million face. Now he goes into the crowd and sees his parents, the Miz's parents there, and asks his mom who his favorite wrestler of all time was, and then of course she says Roman Reigns. Now, to the Miz's surprise, he tries to play it off like, "Mom, you're really screwed up. You're not supposed to say Roman Reigns." But I think what his mother's trying to tell him is, "Son, stop being so arrogant. This is a storyline. This is not really happening." Of course, everybody knows who watches wrestling for a long time. Okay, so pretty much the Miz is trying to cover that up by saying, "Oh, my mother was nervous. She didn't like to be in front of the crowd," and this is not the way it goes. So he goes right back into the stage, continuing his Miz talk show segment. And as he's continuing, out comes Bo Dallas with his Bo Leave music, and he comes in and he says, "Hey Miz, you know why you won the Intercontinental Championship back at Battleground? Because you believed." Now they're starting an alliance now between Bo Dallas and The Miz, but as those two were introducing and admiring each other, out comes Dolph Ziggler, and Ziggler comes out by saying, "Listen, both of you guys, I really adore you guys a lot. I really like you guys a lot. You remind me of the same thing. You thank the fans. You rub off against each other because you're creating this sort of persona, saying that if trying to teach the crowds, saying that if you achieve what you can, you can do a lot of good things. But you know what? Also, you guys both are pieces of crap." The Miz, of course, takes exception to that. Once Dolph Ziggler gets into the ring, Bo Dallas gets in his face saying, "You know why you didn't win the match? Because you didn't believe, Dolph." And of course, as he was continuing to talk, Dolph Ziggler opens fire on both of them, and then starts beating up on both the Miz and Bo Dallas, setting up for a one-on-one match against Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas, of course, defeats Dolph Ziggler in a small package due to outside interference from the Miz, who's actually broadcasting during the whole entire segment. Now, during the segment, Michael Cole was asking him, "I think you scripted this with your mother, okay, trying to make her to like you, but it seems that it didn't work." And she just says, "Listen, I like Roman Reigns. I'm going to be honest with your opinion. You're not going to trade me to do that." So pretty much what the company's doing right now, they're repackaging The Miz into a much more arrogant Hollywood character than he was the first time he was a heel. And like I said a couple of weeks ago, Miz is better off as a heel and not a face. He pretty much was falling off as a face because, it just wasn't working out for him, and he was becoming pretty stale, and I lost interest in The Miz. So The Miz kind of like getting me over to starting to want to see him get beat up as a heel, but you know what? Let's just see where this goes now that he's the Intercontinental Champion after winning that Battle Royal. Now we move on to the we move on to the next segment. Renee Young interviews Roman Reigns. As Roman Reigns comes out, pretty much he is talking about his upcoming match in the main event that night against Alberto Del Rio. And as he continues to poke fun at Randy Orton, who he went after this past Monday night on Raw, as Triple H was going to name him the opponent for John Cena's WWE World Heavyweight Championship match at SummerSlam, but of course Plan B is erased because of that. So now Roman Reigns pretty much after Randy Orton, this will be set up for a match at SummerSlam, saying that how much he's Triple H's lapdog, and he continues saying what he has to say about Roman Reigns, and I'm going to put this big fist right down your jaw. Everybody, like I said, watch Roman Reigns. He's got great mic skills, he's got great work, and he is just great. He was just that much good of a worker. He's over with the crowd. Specifically, the females love him, and a lot of the male audiences love him. I like seeing Roman Reigns personally perform, and he really gets to the point with his promos. So keep an eye out for Roman Reigns. Okay, we move on to the next match. You got Cesaro versus Dean Ambrose in a no disqualification match. This was a pretty good, top-notch 5-star match, and this time, unlike last week, Dean Ambrose did not botch in this match. These two went back and forth. Ambrose at one point of the match was just dragging out all the chairs and just throwing him into the ring. And Cesaro, of course, losing this match 1-2-3 by Dean Ambrose, as he's the victor of this match, and he wins. But out comes, of course, as we see later on in at the end of this match, here comes Seth Rollins attacking Dean Ambrose. Of course, this is good to set up for a match at SummerSlam at one point. I don't know what type of match these two are going to have, but I think I am definitely looking forward to this match between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Okay, so now we've seen that what's going on. As far as Cesaro concerns, let's see where this takes him now. He does not have Paul Heyman as his mouthpiece anymore, even though Paul Heyman is still with the company, still involved in the storyline, now majorly with Brock Lesnar and John Cena with the upcoming main event at SummerSlam in the Staples Center. Okay, now, of course, the winner of that match is Dean Ambrose by a pinfall. We move on to the next match. It's Naomi facing the former WWE Divas Champion Paige, who recently just turned on AJ. Okay, now Paige comes out skipping just like AJ, gets into the ring, awaits Naomi. Naomi comes down to the ring, but before the match begins, Paige grabs the microphone and he says to everybody, just to let everybody know, I still like AJ, okay, and I like you too, Naomi. And right after that, they are interrupted by Cameron, and she comes in and she distracts Naomi. And before she turns around, Paige attacks her, puts her in a submission hold, and Paige wins by submission. And right after Paige skips out of the ring, here comes Cameron attacking Naomi, letting her know, I'm here to make a statement, and she lets every one of the crowds know also what's going on. So this another tag team duo all broken up, as Naomi and Naomi and Cameron will be getting ready for a big match at SummerSlam. Okay, we move on to the next match. We move on to the next segment. We have a Goldust Stardust segment on SmackDown. The same little wickedy weird stuff that they have been doing for the last couple of weeks on Raw and SmackDown. A couple more of these video segments that these two have been doing, Stardust and Goldust. So they're a little bit entertaining, but I think it's getting a little too much right now, in my opinion. Okay, now we go on to the next match. R-Truth versus Bray Wyatt. Pretty much a squash match. So let's just cut to the chase over here. Bray Wyatt wins by pinfall after giving R-Truth to Sister Abigail. And, of course, he gets on the microphone and starts hyping up this thing with Chris Jericho, letting him know that, the Wyatts are here, and he is, the best in what he does. So now he'll be look for this to be, of course, a rematch at SummerSlam at Staples Center. So we're looking for kind of a different match in this scenario. So Bray Wyatt, the victor over R-Truth. Okay, so last but not least, we have Roman Reigns against Alberto Del Rio for the main event. This was a pretty good match, Del Rio and Roman Reigns going back and forth in this match. I wouldn't say it was a 5-star match, but it really does show what Roman Reigns could really do in the ring, as Alberto Del Rio really does work well with him. And Roman Reigns wins, but the Superman punch, 1, 2, 3, there goes Del Rio. So out of this show of Friday Night SmackDown, I give this an 8. I'm not too many big things happening because everybody knows SmackDown is the B show. I'm starting to enjoy it a little bit much more, but I think there could be some improvements being well done. The Miz, he's really winning me back right now as a fan for a heel. Okay, I really still didn't like him that much. I wasn't a really big Miz fan. I mean, I've seen better heels. I got much more heat. Miz is just trying to play that arrogant persona. And to tell you the truth, I think Dolph Ziggler did a much better of a job than that when they were allies. But Ziggler now feuding with Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. Maybe they'll probably have a match down the road at SummerSlam, or we'll see what happens from there. Monday Night Raw. I'll have my review right after tonight's show. I hope everybody enjoyed this review, and just leave a comment right below my screens, and I'll talk to you later.